right. And a very good evening, folks. Thank you for coming out tonight to our band parent information meeting. In case you're wondering, we are recording. So if you're sitting close to the camera, don't say anything you wouldn't want the world to know, because it will be on our YouTube channel the next couple of days, okay? But my name is Greg Weaver. I'm the Director of Bands here at Milton High School. And for those of you that are new, we want to welcome you to the Mighty Black and Gold Band family. We're glad that your child has chosen to be a part of us. And what that means is that you are a part of us as well. As they say, it takes a village to make things go, and it's that way with this band program. It takes parents, it takes friends of the band, it takes students, it takes a great staff, and so forth. And we welcome you aboard. If you're a returning family member, welcome back. We're glad you're here tonight. Guys, our whole purpose of what we're trying to do tonight is to give you information to make things less complicated as we move through the year, so that you have a better understanding of what to expect as the year goes, okay? So as we go, I'm going to be throwing information your way. It's not going to be all the information. Matter of fact, I did the best I could today to take a lot of information out of this agenda that we covered in years past. It's all the different things from our band handbook, and we'll cover that at a different time, and I'll explain that just a little bit. But again, I want to welcome you. As we get started tonight, I do want to introduce some of our other folks that are here in the room. I told you my name is Greg Weaver. I'm the Director of Bands here. Just finished up my 25th year from Milton High School. Started my 26th year after having graduated from here in 1987 as a member. Went up through East Milton King Middle School and then Milton High School. Went off for 5 years to college, 2 years teaching in Mississippi. And then my band director, Mr. Bell, retired. And my goal in life was to come back and be the band director at Milton High School. So as I tell people, I'm living a dream every day. Sometimes that's a nightmare, but most days it's a dream. But that's a little bit about myself. Our assistant band director, Mr. Michael Schultz, right over here, is finishing his 9th year. He'll be starting his 10th year here at Milton High School. And you want to say something about yourself real quick? Well, he's 34 years old. He's single. And he writes long walks on the beach. And he's looking for a woman. So most of her team, please.
I graduated from Tate High School in 2003, and then went to Southern Miss for a number of years. And then graduated from there, and then this is my first career job. So teaching ever since.
So we're glad to have him on board with us, as well a few others that are on our staff. Miss Jan Weaver, where are you at? In the back there. Of course, my better half. She's our bookkeeper. All the money that comes through the band fundraiser and stuff that has to go to the school. Ms. Weaver takes care of. She is actually a teacher and finishing her 25th year here at Milton High School. She teaches business. So of course, let the business person do the money, right? So, but she helps take that load off of us. So we welcome her as well. Our head chaperone is here, Miss Sandy Kennedy. Miss Kennedy, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself? Chaperone, go ahead, the chaperone trainings, yes.
Down at the other stuff, we're going to have 2 trainings. That way it's more open for the parents at 7 o'clock, and you only need to choose one of those.
And those dates on there are wrong. So I recycle from year to year, and that was somehow in the middle of everything today. Those chaperone trainings are on July the 18th. That's what I was just looking at. That's what was written on my agenda that was up here. On July the 18th and August 20th. And they're already on the charms calendar, July 18th and August 20th. So if you'll change that under item number 13, other stuff, chaperone training, July 18th, not June 18th, and August 20th. Somehow I just didn't get that transferred over today.
And even if you've chaperoned in the past, you still have to attend one of the trainings. It's every year you have to renew that, okay?
Yeah, so you guys are chaperone training. Somebody brought it up there. Thank you. Shelly had it. She stole it. Okay. So please make that change. Guys, these calendar events are out there, and of course we will talk a little bit more about how we disseminate information that will be correct on everything else you get. Miss Kennedy as well, you want to go ahead and talk about the medical form that they received tonight?
Yes, you have a medical form. We need those turned in as soon as possible.
say a couple of things on here as well. Of course, you fill out the front, but notice it says on there, list non-prescription medication that your child may not take, okay? So if there's something they can't take. Otherwise, if we're away at a football game and they have an upset stomach and need Pepto-Bismol, and you don't list it as something they may not take, we'll go ahead and give them Pepto-Bismol. That makes sense, okay? So we have you tell us what they can't take so we can give them medicine to meet their needs. Now, we cannot give them medicine during the school day. We can only give them medicine once the afternoon bell rings from there on, after school rehearsals and at football games and so forth. Notice on the back that you can do one of two things. You can get it witnessed in lieu of notary. That means you get two other adult, non-family member, please, to sign off on it, and it is good. Or you can have it notarized. You don't need to do both. You can do the witness thing and not do the notary, or you can do the notary thing and not do the witness thing. Okay? Does everybody understand that? Again, it's an important piece of paper for each student that we have. Get those in as soon as possible. We do ask that they're in by the band lock-in, which is the first full week that we're back in July, right before band camp starts. Thank you, Ms. Kennedy. As well, guys, if you look at item number 2, you will notice that our Band Parent Association is a huge part of the Mighty Black and Gold Band program. Matter of fact, they're the ones that supplement a lot of the things that we do financially. They provide the adult support that we need in many different areas, and I want to introduce them to you at this time, or I'm going to let the president do. And our president this year for the 2019-20 is Miss Vicki Marcus. So welcome her up to the podium.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to just introduce the board real quick, and then I'm going to just take up a couple minutes of your time and give it back to Mr. Weaver. So our first vice president is Cy Marcus.
Hi, everybody.
Our second vice president is Miss Jennifer Hewer. Our secretary is Miss Shelley Allen. Our assistant secretary is Miss Lynn Barton, but she is not able to make it tonight. Our treasurer is Mr. Keith White. Our assistant treasurer is Miss Nancy Curtin. And then we have 2 trustees. The first one is Miss Lee Kilgore, and she was not able to make it tonight. And our second one is Miss Venetia Ballard. All right, a couple things I want to go over real quick is throughout the year we have several opportunities for volunteers. We always need it. We may look super, super organized and like we always have it together, but we always need more help. We never have enough. We'll have multiple opportunities on our charms, which Mr. Schultz is going to go over later. So if you ever have an open opportunity and you see that on charms, please sign up. Please come help us. We can't do it without all of you. So we really, really need that. We also have a Facebook page, which is Milton High School Band Parent Association. If you can't find it, come see me or one of the other board members, and we will get you added to it. We also post a lot of our information on there. We have a Remind, which Mr. Schultz is also going to talk about that later. Our monthly meetings are the second Tuesday of every month, unless we send something out saying it's changed. It is the second Tuesday of every month. This is for all the parents. We talk about what's happening with the Band Parent Association. We talk about any kind of fundraisers coming up or anything like that every month at that meeting. Hold on, there was something else you wanted me to go over. Yes, it's here at 7 p.m.
And if it's not, we'll let you know. Sometimes it'll be in the auditorium across the way. Or in the
All right.
classroom on the back of the auditorium.
And I know we say the Band Parent Association, once you have a kid in this band, you are part of that association. You are now part of this group. It doesn't matter what your kid plays. It doesn't matter if they're color guard. It doesn't matter any like that. You are part of our group now. So we want to welcome you and definitely help us out. One more thing I want to discuss is this Saturday, I know it's late notice, from 3 to 6 p.m. we are having a family picnic at Carpenter's Park. This is a family-orientated event. We would love for you guys to come out. It's a great opportunity for you to get to know other parents, for the band kids to mingle with other band kids outside of band camp and stuff like that, some of the freshmen to get to know some of the upperclassmen. It's a great opportunity for you to get to know your board and find out information from us about things going on, how we work, and stuff like that. Thank you, guys.
Ms. Schultz, we have to work on the applause thing. There's like a smattering of applause there. So I want to notice that. And if you get one of those, get you pumped up. Just kidding. Guys, notice under number 2 as well there. You see how important our parents are. They documented over 10,000 volunteer hours last year. And we do have a volunteer incentive program to help with the fair share that we'll discuss a little bit later. But you can save $75 by volunteering at 3 separate BPA fundraising events. You get $25 per event, okay? And there's a sign-in process. Make sure when you go to, and I say a fundraising event, chaperoning is not fundraising. Meat sticking is fundraising because we're preparing our shish kebabs or working at a concession stand is fundraising, something that helps us to make money. So notice that. Yes? Yes, 3 different times. Per child, sure. Yes, okay. 6 times, you got it, okay? Yeah. So, guys, listen, we have all kinds of volunteer opportunities. Number 1, you heard Ms. Kennedy talk about chaperoning earlier. We always need help at football games, at marching competitions, and also as well during band camp. We have a first aid tent. If you have a medical background, nursing, or something like that, we can always, for the morning and the evening sessions, we'd like to have a couple of medical people up here to deal with students that are overheating and so forth. Notice as well with fundraisers, we will do about 4 or 5 fundraisers this year, and we need help collecting and getting stuff distributed out and so forth. Something new this year, a field crew. We're actually going to be using 2 separate fields, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but we're going to need some folks that will help come up and line the field. Me and Mr. Schultz have tried to do it the past some of our staff, and we're going in so many different directions, it's usually an afterthought. Kids are marching, and we're out there with paint around the kids trying to paint the lines under their feet. So if you're interested in that, we'll talk a bit later. You know, helping with our band trucks, helping with equipment, and of course many, many other things that our band parents that we ask them to do. The main thing I do want you to be aware is to make sure you sign in at all parent volunteering events, whether it's chaperoning and so forth. And speaking of that, if you will look just to the right of that, you're going to see a box. And that's how we do the sign-in stuff nowadays, is with a QR code. If you don't have a smartphone, usually one of the parents around you will. And I'm going to ask that at some point tonight or even after tonight's meeting, if you will take your smartphone and that QR code, if you have an Apple phone, just open the camera and it will read it as a QR code and ask you if you want to open Safari. You click on it and you can fill out the information below. Or if you have an Android, you'll need to download a QR code, right, Mr. Schultz?
Yes.
Okay, and that QR code out will read it. So that's how you sign in for the volunteer events, is with a QR code. We'll have usually for chaperoning, there'll be a sign on this door over here at the meat stickings and different events. You just simply do the QR code, you sign in, and then you sign out at the end. All that stuff goes into a Google Doc that our booster board will take and accumulate the hours. They will get that to Mrs. Weaver. The ones that qualify, you give her a list so she'll know how to credit the accounts. Okay, but make sure you sign in. Number 3. Parent small group meet and greets, 3 to 4 families, sign up going around. Miss Allen is going to pass that around right now, starting right here. Guys, we want to try something a little different this year, especially if you're a new parent. If you're a returning parent, we don't know each other well, that's fine too. But I got to thinking, sometimes we've got students that go 4 years through the band, and I never recognize them, or Mr. Schultz either, recognize their parents. And we spend hundreds of hours. So we want to try something. Maybe it goes back to kindergarten days, I'm not sure. But we want to do a little meet and greet with you. And we've got 4 nights selected during band camp. The first week of band camp, Tuesday and Wednesday, July 16th and 17th, that myself, 2 or 3 or 4 of the board members want to sit down with 3 or 4 families so we can answer more detailed questions, so we don't have to cover that tonight. Find out some things about you. You can ask some things about us. And notice there are 3 different sign-up spots, 6:30 to 7. There'll be 7:15 to 7:45, and then 8 to 8:30. So if you're a new family in particular, we'd love to meet with you, do a little meet and greet, answer some of your questions. If you're a returning family, that's fine too. You want to do a meet and greet with us? By all means, sign up. Notice we're doing it on July 16th and 17th, the first week of band camp. And on Tuesday, Wednesday, the second week of band camp, on Monday night, Tuesday night, July 22nd, 23rd. If we run out of slots, we'll find another night to do it. Okay, but that clipboard is coming around. If you will simply sign up, and we'd love to meet and greet with you, get to know you, and answer questions. Next up, Mr. Schultz, talk about next year's marching band.
All right, so we've had a great first day of rookie camp, first of all. I'm sorry in advance if your child got burnt today. Blame that big orange thing in the sky. I'm a culprit of that too. Yep, sunscreen. Right, do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so yeah, we've had a great time. I've really enjoyed seeing the students' work ethic. I think we're off to a great year already. The show this year, this was a hard, admittedly, this has been a hard one for us to put together this year, just because we knew what music we want to do, but it's this day and age in marching band, it's the thing to do is to have a storyline, I guess, a storyline, a running string of thing to a thread to go through the show. So we were struggling putting that thread together. Well, we finally put it together, and we decided to on life choices. The choices you make determine the path that you take in life. It could be a good decision, it could be a bad decision, but it determines what path you're going to take. Almost like the butterfly effect, if you know what that is. But we're looking at calling it crossroads. You have a decision. You're standing at a crossroads. You can go this way, or you can go this way. It's your choice, but whatever that choice is, you have to live with the consequences, or the not consequences, the rewards per se. So we're playing some familiar music that you'll probably know, and some that's going to be completely new to you. We're going to open with a huge hit of Bohemian Rhapsody on there. Yeah, you like that? We just put the parts of our show together just last night, and it is getting written, and so we haven't even played the rest of it for the students. We'll do that tomorrow. Remind me tomorrow on that. But yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody, a little 30-second blip. Why? Because the choice that dude made in that song, he killed a man. Mama, I killed a man. Put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Right? Life had just begun. The next thing, we were looking for something that's going to be just kind of pushing and fast and really going to push the band and have up-tempo. It's a piece called Abram's Pursuit by David Holsinger. We clipped that. You can go home and listen to it. It's a very high, intense song piece. It's a concert band piece, but it is, when you hear us put it on the field, you'll understand, yeah, I get that. The third song, the part 2, I should say, is a piece it's called Zombie, but every time I say zombie, people think, oh, it's zombie, right? We're doing a zombie show? Okay, that's whatever. It's, if you think of In Your Head by the Cranberries, or the newer version by the Bad Wolves, that's the version we're doing, okay? That's what we're doing. So it's called Zombie. The piece itself is called Zombie, but it's called In Your Head because the song is about the decisions that we as a society make. It's actually a protest song. We're not protesting anything, but it's about these things are in your head. You know these things are happening, yet you choose to do this. So it's a life choice, right? And the last piece, the part 3, it's a piece called Fly to Paradise, which was originally going to be our opener, but now it's our closer. And what it is, it's an Eric Whittaker piece, if you know who that is. But mainly, it was originally taken from a play that he did based off of Paradise Lost. And in this play, in this version, someone made a choice to leave paradise, lost their wings, and now all they want to do is fly back to paradise. They remember soaring through the heavens with the wings on their backs, and they can't do that anymore. They long to do it, but they made a life choice not to have that happen. Okay, you see, and again, we like the music, and the thread was hard to put together, but we think we're onto something. We like getting messages across to our crowd. Last year we did the Courage Within, letting people know that, hey, you can do that thing you think you can't do, right? So write that down. That was a good one. Okay. But that was the Courage Within this year. It's about life choices. We also have the biggest marching band we've ever had, again, which is awesome. We're looking at 220 members total in our band. I keep bragging about that. I love all of our sections, but we've really tried to push our color guard numbers this year because we've averaged about 12 a year. 12. This year we're at 30. Yeah. Yeah. So, and if you don't realize not, color guard is visually, the more color guard you have in your marching band, the more visual impacts you have in your show. So that's why, I mean, we've been really pushing. 12, they did a great job at 12, those girls and Chris did. But having 30 in our guard, it's really going to add a whole lot of impact there. So, yeah, let's see. Is that all I was going to talk about the marching now? I feel like there was one more thing. The next, number 5, shadowing an alternate line. We don't go to state competitions or BOA national competitions. It takes a lot of money to go to those things. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars, and you don't even know if you're going to get top 5 at those. So it's hard to do it. I'm not saying our students aren't capable of it. They really are, but it's a lot of work on everyone's end to do that, and everybody's got to be sold. So I'm telling you that to let you know that we try and have as many students on the field to march as possible, but sometimes we do have to have an alternate line because we have to take into account sometimes those students that get sick or have to drop out for various reasons, injuries, they move unexpectedly throughout the year, and if we don't take account for that, then we'll have holes forever and a day in our show. And when you have holes in your march band show, the whole form looks odd, and things just get, the students have trouble dressing and understand which direction we're going to go. So we have what's called an alternate line. That does not mean if your child is placed on the alternate line, that does not mean they don't march. They alternate from show to show with the student that they are alternating with. So say Sally marches this show this Friday. Well, Jesse will march the show next Friday, and so forth. They will alternate back and forth. Sometimes we do have to take the alternate and fill a hole that was unexpectedly made in another area. So that does happen. How do we put them on the alternate line? Well, we look at feet. We look through rookie camp and see who's struggling with marching. We listen to music. We listen to auditions and determine that this one is only playing one note in their audition and whatnot. So there's a lot of factors that we think about when we do that. But I do want to make it very clear that the students that are placed in that line, they're still marching. They're still doing the halftime show. They just may not be doing it every Friday night. We do pregame as well at the home games, and that one, every student does march for every pregame. As long as they're here. We all march in. They're all in band class together. They all march in together. They all are in the stands together. They all do that. But when it comes to the halftime show, that's the only time that we have the alternating things. So, any questions on that? Okay, Mr. Weaver.
Thank you, Ms. Schultz. Look at number 6, expectations. And this used to be about an hour worth of conversation. Guys, we have a band handbook that's 30, 40 pages long. It is found online. It's on our website. Matter of fact, all the forms that are in your packet are on the MiltonHighSchoolBand.com website. I hated to kill some trees, but I wanted something to put in your hands tonight. But there's a whole bunch more stuff on the website. But I just want to kind of hit what the expectations that we have for our students to be successful. Number 1, when the students are with us, just work hard. Just work hard. As long as they're working hard, we won't have any issues. The second one, we need them in all rehearsals and performances unless they're sick, unless you've had a death in the family, and we know there are sometimes extreme circumstances. Please don't put us in that predicament of, well, we've got concert tickets at the Pensacola Bay Center, so they're not going to be at the football game. Okay, I can guarantee you that Coach Lees doesn't allow that with a varsity football team. We can't do that with a band either, okay? Understand when a kid is not a band, that it not only affects them, it affects everybody around them in the show, okay? So it's so important that that they are here. We understand as well. We know that sometimes you may have a family reunion, in November up in Michigan, and you're already making plans. We will work with you the best we can with a long notice ahead of time, okay? But please don't be like, well, I had to take Susie to the mall to get a dress for homecoming. That doesn't work with us, okay? You follow me on that? Speaking of that, absence policy. Let's say that your child is at school, but all of a sudden, 5th period, they get sick and go home. Here's what we ask of our students. Now, guys, understand, it's like herding cats. There are 220 of them in the marching band, okay? It is like a circus. If you come in here before practice, there are kids and noises and smells and everything else, okay? Yeah, emphasis on the smells during the heat, right? So what we do ask is this, just like if they were in a job, is that we either get a phone call, leave a message on the banner master machine or on our cell phones if we don't answer, or a text or an email ahead of time. Hey, Susie's at home throwing up. We don't want Susie at band practice if she's throwing up, okay? Let us know ahead of time. Then once they get back, if you will write a note for them, we have what is called an absence appeal form. It's a little small sheet that asks for their name, their grade, their instrument, what rehearsal or performance they missed, and it says doctor note attached, parent note attached. They're located in front of our money box, which is that wooden box. Miss Vicki, will you tap the top of the money box, which is right there. There's a cabinet thing in the front. They're located there. When they get back, fill out the absence appeal form. That just follows up with us so that we can go in the computer and mark that their absence is excused or not. Does everybody understand that? Phone call, text, email, or something, notify us beforehand because we get all of those things. And that way we'll know, okay, Jimmy's not at practice, but Jimmy's at home throwing up. If for some reason Jimmy doesn't show up, we may take one of the alternates and plug up Jimmy's spot, especially if Jimmy has a tendency not to show up quite often. Okay, does everybody follow me on that? So that's all we ask there. Yeah.
It's important that you understand that they need to do that the day they get back. This is for our rehearsals. This isn't for the school. This is for our all after school rehearsals. But yeah, the day they get back, they need to turn it in right away. Right to me, not in the money box, right to me.
Yeah, because we'll get to them 9 weeks, and some kids will still have unexcused absences from rehearsals and performances, and that will eventually affect their grade if they don't go through the correct process. The correct process rectifies everything. Okay? Something else we expect, good grades. The school district says 2.5 GPA, 2.0, I'm sorry. The state says 2.0. We're asking for 2.5. Guys, we have some of the smartest students in the school that are here in our band program. Okay? Now, we'll say this, that they have to balance. It's going to be kind of tough for the first 9 weeks. Second 9 week, we were real busy first 9 weeks, so they're going to have to learn time management, but we expect good grades from our band students. They don't make good grades, they'll become ineligible to perform, which means they can't do after-school stuff with us, which pretty much just means that they sit in a class and play their instrument, and that's about the extent of it. They can perform at concerts and so forth. Good behavior. If we have a band student that finds themselves in the dean's office quite often, okay, we've got a great rapport with Miss Letty, who's our assistant principal over student services. She will let us know. Or if they're getting in trouble in other classes, a teacher won't hesitate to send us an email and go, hey, I'm having trouble with Stevie in my class. Okay? We won't tolerate that. We'll call those kids in and try to interact a little bit with them and try to intervene and find out what's going on. But we expect good behavior at school as well. Next point, we expect them to be respectful of each other. No drama. Okay? If they like to stir up drama, they're gonna find us in the office with me and Mr. Schultz having some conversations. If it continues, we'll have no choice but to put them out. We have 230 plus kids in the band program, 220 in the marching band, 230 plus. That's a lot of teenagers in one small area right here. Okay? So it's important that they're respectful to each other, that they don't bring drama. The other thing we expect is them to become a better performer while they're here, that they practice, that they learn their music and their drill. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you, high school is busy. And we know there are times of the year that it's hard for them to find time to practice, but we still expect them, when they're here, to work hard and to constantly to become a better performer on their instrument or on their color guard stuff. Okay? In the last bullet, you'll see that they always serve as a good representative of the Milton High School Mighty Black and Gold Band program. Guys, that's in the community. If they find themselves running into trouble with the law, and we have had this happen in the past, they jeopardize their membership in the high school band. Okay, we've got one of the top organizations on campus, I feel, and we've got to make sure that we maintain that status, we maintain that expectation. Our kids are busy, they have to manage their time, but they've also got to behave. And I think you guys would agree with me, right, parents? I'm a band parent, well, no longer. My second daughter just graduated out of the band this year. Okay, but I've been right there with you. So they're going to come home, listen, they're going to come home, they're going to complain, they're going to be tired, I got homework, and I just always told mine, suck it up, buttercup. Okay, you know, the good news is that Milton High School doesn't start back till 9:15 the next morning. Okay, so that's what I used to remind her, well, you stay up to 1 o'clock, still get 7 hours sleep, easily. So, okay, so just, that's kind of our expectations. That's it in a nutshell. Our band handbook has pages of what we expect, but I wanted to hit that with you. If you'll look in your packet for me real quick, flip on the back side of the agenda page. You're gonna see that I had given you on the back side there, you met the BPA officers a little while ago. You met Ms. Kennedy and you met me and Mr. Schultz, of course. We've got our contact information right there for you. Again, all of this stuff is also in our band handbook, which can be found where? Online at? Milton High School Band, all spelled out, .com. Okay, so all that information's there. But look at the second page in your handout. Probably the most important piece of paper that I'm going to give you this year, if you like paper stuff, this is our calendar. Okay, this right here is our calendar. And if you will notice on there, I've given you the marching band rehearsal calendar at the top up there. If you'll notice that August the 19th through September the 30th, we're going to be practicing on Mondays. But something has changed this year. Last year, in the past few years, we practiced on Monday nights from 6 to 9:30. We were able, as a matter of fact, this afternoon to work it out with the baseball coach to get on the baseball field on Monday afternoons now. So we're going to practice 4 to 7 on Monday afternoons rather than Monday nights. Before, we practiced Monday night and Tuesday night to 9:30, and that was just killer. It's going to be honest with you. But understand, we're landlocked here at Milton High School, which means that us and football have to share our practice field out here, and they usually go till about 6:30. And so we always start about 6. But this year, Mondays are going to start on August the 19th. Why? We're not going to meet the first Monday, the first day of school. We learned a few years ago that it doesn't work because we're exhausted and the kids are exhausted. So the second week of school will start Monday rehearsals from 4 to 7 on the baseball field from August 19th through September 30th. Okay? Labor Day, that Monday, we will not meet. We'll start the second day of school on Tuesdays, August 13th through October 24th. Okay, Tuesdays, 6 to 9:30. So we will have nighttime practices there. Those will take place on the track. A lot of times they take place in the stadium. Okay, and then we have Thursdays starting that first week of school from 4 to 6:30, except for the first couple of Thursdays, the first and second week of school, because until the football team starts actual football games, they still practice at 6:30. So we're out there on Thursday nights for the first 2 weeks of school. Does that sort of make sense to you? And then once they start football games, they do a walk through the stadium of varsity on Thursdays, which frees our field up in the afternoon. Okay, so that's our rehearsal schedule. Okay, October 24th is the last Thursday that we have a full 4 to 6:30, and then 1 week after that, October 31st, we will do a run through from 4 to 5:30 just to maintain the show before our last regular season football game. If we make the playoffs, we'll keep meeting on Thursdays for an hour and a half just to run the show down to make sure we're ready for the football game. Okay? Notice next you see our performance schedule. That has our football schedule combined with our marching festival and competition things that we do. Football schedule's on there for you. September 30th. Yeah, it's on there. Okay, September 30th. So you'll notice on there that 3 of those, or several of them, are bolded for you. October the 5th is the Blackwater Classic Marching Band Festival. That is this will be the 4th annual. That's the one that we host here at Milton High School. Last year we had 18 bands plus University of Southern Mississippi band here. Goes on out here. That will be an all-day event for us. Okay? Please, please, please make sure that is marked off on your calendars, that we have no conflicts that Saturday with anything else. Notice on Saturday, October the 12th, FBA District 1 Marching MBA should be at Tate High School this year. And that's what it says. That is our state assessment for marching band. All the high school bands from the Okaloosa, Santa Rosa, Escambia County will converge on Tate High School for our evaluation that day. Again, please make sure there are no conflicts on that Saturday. You'll notice our Santa Rosa County Marching Band Exhibition. Actually, it's not Milton High School, it's Pace High School, I discovered today. It will probably be that following Tuesday night, which means we won't practice that Tuesday night, but we'll go do another performance. That's a free thing, a free performances that we do by all 5 of the major high schools in Santa Rosa County to give us a chance to see each other, along with allowing parents to come out and see all the high school county bands. Notice October 17th, Panama City Mosley. That is a Thursday night game. Yes, if the varsity goes, we go. Okay? So it'll be a late night. It'll be a long day on Friday, but the great news is we have Friday night off. We don't have anything scheduled for that Saturday either. So kind of an open weekend. Okay, because our open weekend in the football schedule is the first week this year, as you see at the top on August 23rd. Okay, then on October the 26th, we are planning to go to another marching competition. We do not know where yet. We're still looking for somewhere, and in the Panhandle area, east of here, of Florida, or somewhere in South Alabama. I've got some feelers out right now, probably somewhere in South Alabama. We'll go that weekend. Make sure that October the 26th as well is marked off. And then you'll notice November 11th is the Santa Rosa County Veterans Day Parade. And then you can look all the way down on the other important dates and see when our Christmas parade is, Santa Rosa All County Honor Bands, Christmas concert, Christmas break, All County Honor Band rehearsals, all the way through the spring, when our concert MPA is, our spring concert, and our band banquet is next year. So all that stuff's there. I recommend this calendar that you put it on the refrigerator somewhere. Okay? I will tell you as well, Mr. Schultz in just a moment is going to introduce Charms to you. All this is also on Charms, on our calendar on Charms, which can be on your phone here in about 15 minutes. Okay, so Mr. Schultz.
Okay, yeah, so Mr. Weaver mentioned Charms just now, and I'm actually going to show you can go right off the bat how to get to Charms, and then I'm going to show you where you get all the information that I'm giving you to access it. This is Charms' office that we use. What is important about Charms is, yes, the calendar is there. You can also access the calendar on miltonhighschoolband.com, and I encourage you to do that one. But for volunteering, you'll have to go to Charms calendar for to pay fair share donations that Mr. Weaver's going to talk about later. That's where you're going to need to go to pay those and uniform payments and whatnot. But I'm going to show you kind of how to get to it at the beginning part. What you do, you go to charmsoffice.com in the top right-hand corner. I've already clicked it, but it's that login. There's two. You're going to go to the parent-student one, then you're going to type in Milton HS Band. When you get to this screen, this is where you're going to put in your child's personal password. And what is the password? Well, it's your child's last name, all lowercase, and graduation year. If you forget that, I'm going to show you where to find it. It's also in your packet, right? You put that in there. Okay. Where it says Charms. In fact, if you want to look at that in your packet, if you're not there, next page, yeah, very next page. That's where it tells you exactly how to do this. Okay, yeah. So you'll put in your child's last name and graduation year. So for all the freshmen, it could be freshmen. That's 2023. 2023. Last name, graduation year, all lowercase. If you have two students with the same last name that are in the same grade, it's going to be the first initial last name graduation year. If the first initial is the same, well, it's going to be the first two letters of their first name, then the last name to graduation year. We've had to do this, so if absolutely nothing works, just send me an email and I'll say it's this. Okay? Now, once you put it in, it is going to ask you to create your own password. That I won't see. I can't get that for you. If you forget that password, all I can do is reset to the original password. And again, all you got to do is send me an email. Hey, I forgot my password. Can you reset it? Yes. Okay. Once you log into there, that's where you can go to the calendar. You can sign up to volunteer. You can, and it'll have different icons similar to what you see here to show you exactly how to pay. Now, that's Charms' office. Again, all this is our main hub of information is miltonhighschoolband.com, and I've been clicking it as Mr. Weaver has talked about it. This is where, if you have any questions at all, band handbook, how much of things this year, where can I go to pay this online? This is it, really, miltonhighschoolband.com. This is our home page. You'll notice right off the bat, this first page may look familiar to a lot of y'all if you read my emails. How many of y'all have been reading my emails? Thank you so much. There's so much information in that per week. And yet I always get the I didn't know, and I hate those three words put together. I didn't know, but it's there. And that's what I do. I send a weekly email out pretty much every Sunday. If it's not every Sunday, it's at least the day before we come back to school. This week I'll send one out Sunday. It'll be the last one you'll get from me for a few weeks because I'm going on vacation. For the most part, I'm staying in Milton, but I'm going on vacation. So, do what? I mean, I'm going far, going to Antarctica. So, that's somewhere north, right? Just kidding. Yeah. So anyway, I'll send these. Where was it going with that? Yeah, and I always put them on our website. I just simply copy and paste whatever's in that email, all spelling errors and all is on this website, on the main page. Okay, you'll see on those weekly emails, I try and give you bits of information. Hey, this is due. Hey, this is what this is. This is coming up. Come to this meeting tonight, whatnot. And then I always put what's happening this week, what's happening next week. Sometimes I do what's happening 2 weeks from now, just like I did on this one. Okay, now I'm going to be starting something new with this, and I'll talk about this just a second. I'm going to be sending this out through a text, through our remind text, just so I know that you get that each week. Okay, but in here you can explore around, and I encourage you to go in here. Just click away. There's all kinds of things in here. There's even some games. We even have a Milton High School video game. If anyone are interested in going to that, some of the resources, fun stuff. Milton High School video game. It was made by one of our recent horn players, William Shork, a few years ago. So that's a fun game. But anyway, how do you? Where's the Charms information? It's all go to About Charms Office Info, and that's where you see exactly what you see in front of you. How do you log on, and how do you sync your calendar? You can see it right there. You can also see it on the calendar page on here, guys. I really encourage you to sync your calendar with your mobile device, whatever service you have, and so you know it's there. If you don't try to read that right now, I encourage you to go to our website and just read directions from there. Or what? It is in the packet. Okay, yeah. I synced that 7 years ago, and I haven't looked back since. Every time we update our Charms calendar, it'll automatically update to your phone or whatever you decide you want to sync to. Okay, so I encourage you to do that because that's what I live by. If we always try and schedule things, I look at our calendar, I know it's synced, I know, hey, we have this on this date. So, and that's just, it's really easy once you look at those directions. Again, if you have any questions on exactly how to do it, if you need me to walk you through it, don't hesitate to give me a call or an email, and I can help you through this. But it's a nifty tool for that. I keep saying calendar on here. You can also access our calendar right off the bat. When our internet works. There we go. Okay. Actually, yeah, I forgot you can sign up on here. So, you saw me earlier click. This is what's going on in June for the Mighty Black and Gold. Okay, lots of events going on. There's Rookie Camp there. And you can click through. You can actually see what we've done ever since 2010 on this calendar, because that's when we started using Charms. But you can click through and see what all events have. Now, notice these little yellow hands, if you can kind of see them, the helping hands. That's where you can go. Miss Vicki and Mr. Weaver said something about signing up to volunteer. How do you do that? Go to your calendar, click that helping hand, and you'll come up with this. 2 things. This is actually for this week, and I have no one that's signed up except for Wednesday and Thursday of this week to help out with our medical tent. And such for Rookie Camp. But this is how you do it. You click that hand, and then you just start typing in your information. You give us your name, cell phone, don't look at that, and email address, and you click sign up right there, and boom, that lets us know, hey, you signed up, and you're good to go. Okay, we already have these for this week, like I said, 2 per slot. We have sign-ups for car wash already. Are you going to talk about that? For the car wash? Do we have sign-ups for band camp? Okay.
Now we're going to have sign-ups for 4th of July.
We'll have sign-ups for 4th of July, BPA event, the Riverfest over there.
Races,
Yeah. Anything that the BPA event that they need help with, guys, go to your calendar. That's why sometimes in those emails I put BPA event, so you know that needs help. They need help. Sometimes we'll have a link that links you directly to it to sign up. Miss Kennedy will sometimes put and also put a direct link to chaperone these events. But yeah, that's where you go for that calendar to sign up. Other things on here, I kept saying remind tab, remind stuff. I've had this going on this whole time. And hopefully you've already signed up. I actually got a few notifications that some of y'all have. Guys, we're going to be using this heavily this year. One of the things that we talked about in our little volunteers group from last year is that a text messaging. A lot of you, how many of y'all actually still use emails like hardcore? You look at your emails constantly. I do too. But how many of us you look at texts more often, right? Yeah, a few more of us. So what this does, this is not bombard. You're not signing up for spam text, I promise you. What this does, if you're going to get a spam text, it's from us. Okay? Hopefully it's not spam. But what we do, we send out information that's like last night I decided I'm going to start sending out the weekly email through the text service to all the marching band members. And I'll start doing it to the MHSBPA and band adults too. So just so you have that one more link to go to get that information. Sometimes we have to cancel rehearsals because of hurricanes or something that comes through here, and we'll send a text out to the marching band saying, hey, rehearsal's canceled because of this. We only had to do that twice so far. So sometimes we'll do that. We'll give updates. I will say during the week of competitions for the marching band, I like to send daily quotes of motivation for that. So that's the only time where you may read that and say, hey, well, I feel good after reading that. And I hope so. That's the point. So, but even our Band Parent Association, which you are on, you guys understand, there's not a fee associated with that. You're just automatically in that because you're having a wonderful student, a part of this family. Miss Vicky and other PPA members may send you a text saying, hey, we really need help. Please help us out at this event. If there's information that Mr. Weaver and I only need to get to the adults, like a band parent meeting or something, we'll send that out. So these are really the three adult ways of communication. The students also have the marching band app, and then there's also the different band classes, symphonic concert, Panther, jazz band, all that stuff that the students will sign up for, that we send information to them sometimes through. But our main way of communication with instant communication is these text messaging apps. Is that it on here? We also do have a Facebook page, which I'm not going to pull up right here, but we have a Facebook page that I also send the weekly update to every week. We actually have a Twitter page too. There's nothing that I get put on there except our weekly update. So you can go to that. It's Milton HS Band. If you do Twitter, if you tweet, there you go. Finally, the YouTube channel. We do have a YouTube channel. This is where I will put this video. And most of our performances throughout the year go on here. In fact, you can go on here and see every performance since we did Epic. That's when we started our YouTube channel about 5-6 years ago now, 7 years ago. So I'll put all of our performances, quote, official videos, whatever you want to call them, of not just the marching band, but the concert bands, the jazz band, the indoor groups, and whatnot there. So I encourage you, go to our website first as the hub of information and just explore. Click around. You can't change anything in there, I promise you. Okay? Also, one thing I do want to show you, Mr. Weaver's going to talk to you more about the band trip later on, but I do already have a link here set up on our page to go over everything that he's going to talk about with the band trip. Okay? Don't ask me questions about that yet because he's going to answer all that. So, are there any questions besides that? Are there any questions that I can answer right now about all of our fancy web stuff? Okay.
Guys, we're talking fast. We're just throwing a lot of information at you, trying to get you out of here. We know time is a precious commodity. I want you to look in your packet real quick to the third page on back of the schedule that I went over a minute ago, and you'll see a lot of these resources. Just find us on the web. Again, this is out of our band handbook. That shows you all of our Facebook pages, all of the remind text groups, and different things right there. I wanted to put it in your hands so you have it there, but it all can be found on our website as well. Next thing I want to talk about is money. Okay? Guys, I want you to understand what we always have this saying, what does it take to make this marching band go? The kids say pride. I have funny answers such as money and 6 school buses and 2 equipment trucks, and it takes a lot to make us go. Unfortunately, Santa Rosa County and Milton High School is not allowed, not able to put a lot of money our way. To be perfectly honest with you, we get about $750 to $1,000 from Milton High School to spend every year on stuff that we need here for the band, and then we get usually about $4,500 to $5,000 from the county towards new instruments, towards instrument repair, and so forth. You put that together, that's less than $6,000. Okay, a new tuba, new sousaphone costs $6,000. Okay, we have enforced it a few years ago. The superintendent did a lot, $300,000 to the high schools, $100,000 over each year, that we were able to upgrade our equipment, so we're in pretty good shape equipment-wise right now, but it takes a lot of money to maintain it and so forth. So it takes money to make this marching band go, okay? What I want you to do is flip to the last page, the front of the last page. I kind of put this in there backwards, and I didn't mean to do it that way, except I was following my agenda, and I realized a little bit after I got it printed, I did it wrong. The Milton High School marching band budget. Something that is extremely important to me and Mr. Schultz is that we are very transparent with you on how we spend our money. And I want you to understand that. And so, in case you wondered what it costs to make a marching band go, just what we do, about $52,000 if you look at that, okay? We have our halftime show music arrangements written by Randy Nelson, it costs money. We have our drill written by Carol Ann Whitten, it costs money, okay? I get a supplement for the summer, Mr. Schultz works tons of hours, and just as much as I do, we need to supplement him for his time, okay? Unfortunately, there's only 3 at Milton High School that get summer supplements. That's the head football coach, head band director, and the athletic director. Band camp sports staff, we usually bring in 4 techs to help us. We pay those folks. You can look down, props, equipment, flags for the show. All that stuff eats up tons of money to make it good. Festivals and competitions. You can see down right there that we've got different fees for the different things that we do. Membership and registration fees. You can see that right there as well. Charms, our charms, our all-county band, honor band auditions, copier, all these copies you get done, we have to pay a lease on that copier and pay per print, office supplies, all that stuff adds up. Marching band other expenses, we do the halftime show shirts for the students. Smartphone device marching drill out, we're adding something new this year, we're not giving them drill charts, we're asking them to have smartphones, we're doing an app where they can actually see their drill coordinates on the app. Something new that we're just starting to roll out to the kids. And we're gonna try to have some, if you've got old smartphones that you wanna donate that don't have data, they can connect to the Wi-Fi here and download their drill stuff so they can see where all their coordinates are and they can watch the drill move and they can see where they're in relationship to people around them. Okay, that was one way we're able to use different fields. In the past, we spray painted our dots. But now we're changing up to between 3 fields. We can't do that anymore, okay? So all this stuff takes money. You can look down, uniform repairs, stand music that we buy, medical supplies, and general supplies if we need more ice chests and different things. Social activities, the band lock-in that we'll do this summer. It's actually a lockout where we travel and go swimming and go bowling and go to CC's Pizza and Pensacola. All that stuff costs money. Drinks for football games, special day meals. Anyway, in a nutshell, a little less than $52,000 to make the marching band go. What we do is we do what we call a fair share. A fair share donation. We're not allowed to call anything dues or fees anymore in Santa Rosa County, but a donation. What we ask is that each student raises their fair share, either through fundraising or through payment, to help offset those costs. I'm just going to be real honest with you. If we don't get the money in, we have to stop doing it. Once we go zero in the bank account, we have to stop doing what we do. We can't offer these fun activities. We can't offer these goods and services if we don't have money to do it. Okay, so you'll notice there are 2 different tiers. It says total per person fair share donation. Tier 1's $225, Tier 2's $300. The fair share is $300. Remember, you can work off $75 as a parent by volunteering in the 3 different events. That's how you get to Tier 1. Does everybody understand that? Fair share is $300, but you can work 3 events and it's $225. Okay, so you'll notice that's on there. School-owned instrument maintenance fee. Those students that play a school-owned instrument. Okay, tuba, baritone, euphonium, French horn, mellophone, percussion, low reeds, bass clarinet, tenor sax, bass sax. If it's ours, we ask for a $50 maintenance fee to go into getting those instruments maintained, repaired if they need to be repaired, and serviced. Matter of fact, I've got a bill on my desk from Smith's Music right now for $8,000 where we just had all of the marching brass totally what they call ultrasonic cleaned, and they went through all the loose braces, they resoldered everything. They look phenomenal, the brass does right now, as it came back. We got an $8,000 bill that we've been having to save up our little nest egg here to pay to get that done, okay, just to get the marching instruments that we have, kind of redone and ready for the next thing. So if your child plays a school-owned instrument, we've got an additional $50 on that. Now, if your child is new to the band and they are a wind or a percussionist, we also have a uniform fair share, okay? There are parts of the uniform that Mr. Schultz is going to show you in just a minute that our students buy, including their helmet, their plume, their pants, and their shoes, okay? If you flip one page back, you'll see band uniforms at the top. You'll see that's $195, and the prices are listed there. Here's the good news, new parents. Usually it'll last them at least the first 2 years unless they grow a lot. Now, usually the helmet, they cannot grow their helmet unless they have a really big head, and I don't know what we do. We'll spray paint, shape them, spray paint their head gold, I'm not sure. Okay? But they may outgrow their pants. The good news is the pants have snaps on the inside, and so you don't have to seam them, you can snap them up, and then eventually as they get taller, you can unsnap them and lower the bottom hem or the bottom seam of the pants there. Okay? So if you'll notice that, so you got 300, which can be lowered to 225 for all that are in marching band. Okay? School-owned instruments have a $50 instrument maintenance fee, and then new students that are winds and percussion, $195. Now, do we have color guard parents in here tonight? If you'll raise your hand, Mr. Schultz, this is color guard. Color guard's a little bit more, not a lot. We're just talking about $30 or $40 more for the fair share. Okay? And I didn't want to make copies of all of these, so keep your hand up when he comes around. If you'll look on the back, okay, you'll see that Tier 1 is $267 instead of $225. Tier 2 is $342, and then the uniform's a little bit more, and that is $209 instead of $195. Okay, and if Ms. Weaver puts that in the computer, yours will show those numbers. Okay, you'll also, color guard parents, notice on the front of that Miss Bird and Miss Wilson, these are kind of just some of the general expectations that they have for our color guard. Again, this is in our band handbook. Okay, so color guard parents, this is in the handbook. I just didn't want to put it in the packet tonight and make 125 copies of it. Okay, so any questions about those three? Yes, ma'am.
Is this brass too?
Is that what?
Brass instrument?
You talking about the uniform?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for all. Yes, ma'am. Uniforms for all, everybody except color guard. So it's brass, woodwinds, and percussion. So good question there. Yes, ma'am.
My daughter is not doing marching band. Does she still need the uniform and everything?
She will not need the uniform, no, ma'am. And actually, the fair share stuff will not apply to her. There will be some things through the year. If she wants a T-shirt, she'll need to purchase, or if she wants to go to the band banquet, she'll need to purchase a ticket.
What about the trips? Do they apply?
The trip, you talking about the big trip at the end of the year?
Big trip or the lock-in, either one.
Usually they don't do the lock-in unless they're marching band.
Okay.
That's a marching band activity. So the big trip, yes, a totally separate thing. We'll talk about it a little later. Yes, ma'am.
The $50 fee for the instrument rental, when do you need that?
Usually we just ask for it by January the 30th, which I'm glad great lead in. So what I want you to do is flip in your packet before the band budget page where it says fair share donation, winds and percussion. Color guard parents, look at your back of your color guard list. I've kind of given you a payment plan. Now listen, here's the deal. This is to help you, help us to make sure we've got money continually coming in to pay the bills as they arise. But if you want to write a big check at the beginning, we will not turn it down. Okay? Because again, we're going to, as soon as, well, we're already getting bills rolling in for the new marching band. A lot of times I have to sit on those bills till we get the money in the account. Okay? Notice new members, I've kind of given you a schedule to go by there, trying to kind of split it up where you have a fair share payment each month and then a uniform payment each month. Returning members, notice I've done the same for you except it's just fair share. And the school-owned instrument fee if that applies. If that doesn't apply, then don't worry about it. Okay? Does that sort of make sense to you? I don't want to go into too much detail. I can answer these questions better in the small group, the meet and greets, if you got more questions about it. But notice we're asking for that first $50 from all the groups by July the 11th, which goes towards the lock-in and help get us through into band camp. Okay? Color guard parents, notice I did the same thing on the back for you. Okay, kind of gave you a payment schedule for new members and then for returning members as well on that. So any questions about that? I'm checking my thing up here. Now, let me just say this about payments. How do you make a payment? On Charms, there's a place on Charms in your student where you can watch their financial account. I will tell you this, everything is in what we call, Jan, where's Miss Weaver? The miscellaneous ledger, correct?
Yes.
Everything will be in the miscellaneous ledger, which is at the bottom. There's a place in Charms where you can go and pay via credit card through PayPal, 2.5% charge.
This is what I forgot to show you. Okay, on our website right here. Right now there's a bunch of drop down things right here. If you go to more, pay fair share payments, online fair share payments, you click this big box right here. But if you want to read how to do that, what all comes out, there's a convenience fee because it's online. We don't see that. That goes to PayPal. But you click that, and that's where you'll have to put in your child's password. It'll take you directly where you need to pay for the miscellaneous.
So if you have questions on that, let me know. If you want to pay via check, again, there's a money box right over here. Miss Weaver, can you hold up an envelope? We keep envelopes and absence bill forms in the little slot there. Checks payable to MHS or Milton HS or Milton High School Band, okay? And they simply fill out, or you can fill out the envelope and ask them there for check number, to ask what it's for. You can fill that out, and then we show them how it drops in the top of the box. It drops in the top, and there's a slot in the top of the box. The student drops it down, the parent drops it all the way down. You can pay check that way. If you bring cash, thank you, Don, I appreciate that, thank you. If you bring cash, okay, the one thing we do ask, and there's notes on top of the box over there, bring it in the office and let us write a receipt first. We'll stick it in the envelope for you or for the student, and then seal it up. They'll go put it in the drop box. That way you got a copy receipt. Yes. We will, yes ma'am. Same thing, just like a check, but we sure will. Money orders as well. Okay? And again, guys, try to get on top of that, and I think that'll help things out. All right? If you have more questions, guys, always never hesitate to email us. Okay? Best way to communicate is via email or after practice. Before a rehearsal, if you walk in here, we got rehearsal at 6, and you walk in at 5:55, we're not going to be able to hear you. Okay? 2.5%. That's a PayPal charges that. So $2.50 for every 100. Well, tier 1 is a $225. If you work 3 events, you knock $75 off. We're not going to listen. We're going to charge you $225. Is that right? No, wait, Ms. Weaver. We charge $300 to start with, and then once you volunteer, and we kind of get into the football season, the boosters, the band BPA will put together a list, and she'll go in and credit the accounts for if you did 3 times credit, you $75. It will say BPA volunteer incentive. Okay, so if you wanted to go ahead and pay $225, you could do that. Okay. Any other questions on that real quick? And guys, we're trying to not eat up all your night here. Ms. Schultz, uniforms? I can.
Okay, so the uniforms here. So what I did, this pile is the one for the okay. So when tomorrow, starting tomorrow and Wednesday, actually, we're going to do uniform fittings. Tomorrow, while the woodwinds audition, the brass and percussion get fitted for their uniform, and then on Wednesday, while the brass do their auditions, the woodwinds get their uniforms fitted. Now, we told the returning students if any of them need something new, polo shirt, bibbers, whatever, they need to come to one of those days and try on a uniform so they can get their name on the paper. If they don't, the returning members don't get their uniform. If they need something new, they don't come those days. I told them, don't ask me to get it for you. I'll send you the link. You can order it yourself. But I'm not going to order anything after this one. So what do we provide first? This is what we provide, the BPA, I should say. You guys buy these for us. This is, go ahead and put that on. I'm going to try. This is the jacket. The sash, and the gauntlets here. Also gloves. We didn't bring those out. You know what gloves look like. But yeah, percussion. Do what? Yeah, we provide the first pair of gloves. If they need to get any extra pairs, then they very good. Thank you. Yeah. I was talking about the jacket. Anyway, yeah, we'll give them the first pair of gloves. If they ever lose those pair of gloves, we do have extras, but they cost $2. $2 per glove. Just like, we don't provide socks, but we do have extra socks just in case there's an emergency comes up. If we do have to give out socks, we don't take those back. We don't let you. We don't want those back. Okay. So okay. I don't know if those are bibbers or something else. So what do you get with your money? This is what you get. Bibbers, which don't fit like that. Bibbers that have the buttons. That these are nice, so we don't have to hem them. They just button up there. You can adjust the links with these straps. They also zip up. They zip up and all that. You'll get new pairs of those at various sizes. Again, we'll size for these tomorrow. You also get shoes.
Minus the
Bando shoes and a left and a right shoe. Those are two left shoes. Okay, I don't know why they did that. Talk to Garrett Allen or Shelly Allen over here. So the next thing is this nice shiny helmet, which I cross your fingers will come in time this year. The past 2 years, we've had some interesting things happen with these. The first 2 years ago, we had a hurricane hit down in South Florida, which is where they make these and the color guard uniforms. This is where they make them down there. Last year, something happened with the paint on their end that they delayed, and for some reason the paint wasn't sticking to it, so they finally, I guess, fixed it. We finally got them in mid-September. But yeah, you'll get a nice shiny helmet and a plume, a real ostrich feather plume with that. It's about $40, 40 plus 7, yeah, whatever it says on there. And then personalized polo. We wear these for our summer uniform. If you notice, somewhere I saw Mr. Weaver put in their summer uniform. This is what it is. It is a personalized polo. It has this child's name and instrument. What they play on there for the marching band. We wear these at homecoming parades and whatnot. We provide you with that. We ask that when we get around to actually by the preview show on July 25th will be the first time that we wear these. With that, they need to have black shorts, not jersey shorts, black khaki dress shorts. Okay, I'm okay with some pockets on the side, but they cannot be jersey shorts. They need to be solid black. No white strips, no nothing, just solid black. And of course, what did we say? White socks. Primarily white socks. Primarily white shoes. You don't need to go out and spend $100. Yeah. Okay. So that's what you get. Oh, and color guard uniforms. Now, I brought this out for the color guard. This is what we've generally been going for the past couple of years. They may change this. Go ahead, try that one. Okay. They may change this year. They may get a completely redesigned uniform. I know they were talking about that, but this is, if they decide not to, this is generally what they'll look like for that. So that's all. Anyone have any questions on uniforms? Yes. That's a good question. They usually do that during color guard camp, which starts next week. Color guard camp will be 8 to 2, Monday to Thursday of next week, and I know usually they do it sometime during then. So, any other questions? Okay.
Start securing primarily white shoes and black shorts, please. Next thing, notice fundraisers. Now, guys, we used to try to do about 9 to 10 fundraisers a year, and we learned that only about 30 to 40 of the students out of 200 plus were doing the fundraisers. So we're going to focus our attention on 4 to 5 big fundraisers this year. Yeah, that's true. Oh, okay. So fundraisers. The first big one we got is the car wash-a-thon. Now, let me just say this up front. If you will work it, your child can make in excess of $400 washing cars for 3 hours. We have had students make $450 to $500 washing cars for 3 hours. When you came in tonight, I want you to look at this car wash-a-thon pledge sheet. And we got plenty of these that are going to be online on our MiltonHighSchoolBand.com. Here's how this works. The Saturday, July the 20th, in the middle of band camp, we are still in the process of securing 6 locations. This is about the 5th or 6th year we've done it around Milton. Still working on the old local yokel, the Circle K at East Milton and Ward Basin Road and Highway 90. Okay, still working on Stuckey's at I-10, but we've already got Milton High School. We've already got Advanced Auto in front of Winn-Dixie. I think we've already got Kids Discovery, okay, out on Highway 90 West, and Ollie's right there at Six Flags Shopping Plaza, okay? Our students come in, they work 3-hour shifts from 8:30 to 11:30. The second shift works from 11 to 2. This is a free car wash at 6 locations in Milton. So, here's the beauty of this. We do a free car wash. We've got signs that say free car wash. We get as many cars to come in so we can make Milton prettier, okay, in that 5 hours that we do the car wash. Okay, when the cars come in, we document. We have parents that are there working, which is another volunteer incentive, volunteer opportunity for you. We document, have the driver sign. Okay, in the past, I think last year we washed about 262 cars or something like that. Posted, okay. Here's what needs to happen. If you go out, let's say we wash 250 cars this year. If you go out and Uncle Bob and Aunt Susie say, I'll tell you what, I'll give you 10 cents per car that the band washes, okay? And, Grandma says, I'll give you 5 cents a car. And let's say we wash 250 cars and you got $1 in pledges. Guess how much in pledges you just earned? $1 in pledges is 250 cars. You just made $250 washing cars for 3 hours. Now, we could do it the old-fashioned way, go out and each car wash spot would make about $100, $150 washing cars and divide it amongst 30 kids that worked, and they'd each get $3 each, no, $5 each, okay? You can make money on this, but you gotta get the pledges. Does everybody understand that? Again, we've had kids make $400 and $500, and all they did was got pledges, and they washed cars for 3 hours, okay? Let's say Uncle Joe says, yeah, I'll give you 10 cents a car. We wash 250 cars, so he gives you 25 bucks. Okay, I wouldn't recommend anything over 10 cents. Let's say Uncle Joe has his car and Susie's car, and they've got a third car. They bring all three, get them washed for free. They just pay $25 to get all 3 cars washed for free. They pay $25, and that goes into your child's account. Everybody see the beauty of that? We provide a service in Milton. We get the pledges. We do it in mass at 6 different locations. We cover every entrance way in the city of Milton, on just about every highway, bypass Dogwood Drive, okay? Please work this. Here's what has tended to happen the last 2 or 3 years. 15, 20 kids will get pledges. The rest of us are washing cars for free on Saturday, okay? So I encourage you to work this thing. Now, what happens is when we come back that second week of band camp, that Monday, we will send out a document. We'll make documentation sheets where I will put on there, we wash this many cars at this location, this many at this location, this many. We'll print them up. It'll look kind of similar to this, and it'll say if you pledge 1 cent, you owe this much. If you pledge 2 cents, we will hand those out. You take them that second week of band camp and collect the pledges from those that pledged. Any questions about that? That's a big fundraiser right here at the summer where you can knock a large part out. Some other fundraisers you'll see back on the agenda that we've got lined up. The next one I'm not real sold on yet, but I had the guy visit the other day, the Greatest Cookie Sales, which are a prepackaged cookie for $2, a big, large cookie, and they're kind of like the candy boxes, except they're cookie boxes, where I'm still teetering on that one right now, but we will do some type of sale there around August 26th through September 9th. The main thing, if we do sell the boxes of cookies, okay, we used to do cookie dough when our cookie dough rep passed away, a good friend of ours, been doing fundraisers with the band since like 1980. But we do that, if we do the cookie box thing, box sales, you'll need to pre-order those there at Bandcamp. Look at emails, look at text for more information about that. We will plan to do the Rada Cutlery. If you don't know what that is, we'll do that one in October. We don't have time to do fundraisers in September because things are so busy. 3 days a week, Friday night football games and so forth. Rada Cutlery is what the cafeteria workers used to sell years ago. We've sold it for about 2 or 3 years, but it's a brochure sell, and it's knives and kitchen supplies, and they are great knives. How many of you guys have bought the Rada Cutlery before? So you know what I'm talking about, right? So good stuff. It's not expensive, but it's got a pretty good profit margin. We'll plan to do that one in October, which means we will distribute it at the end of practice one evening. We're not going to give the kids knives during school. You understand that, right? Yeah. Gee, Mr. We were 3/4 of the band got suspended. So we'll do that one then. And then another one that's become very successful, our biggest one actually, the Lumpia fundraisers. Lumpia is a Filipino egg roll. Miss Ann Gwynn owns a Dragon Express, has been working with us. This will be about the 5th time we've sold Lumpia. The last time we did over 1,000 bags. Those are 15 Lumpia in a bag. The vegetable ones and the chicken and pork ones are $12 a bag, and then the beef ones are $14 a bag for the 15 rolls. And the students make $5 profit. We sold over 1,000 bags the last 2 times that we've done it. Okay, so you sell 20 bags, there's $100. I've probably got 30 bags of it in my freezer because they're great. You take them out, throw them, deep fry them for about 5 to 6 minutes on a Saturday morning. It's a great breakfast after a football game. So those are some of the fundraisers that we've got coming up. Now let me just say this. We're going to be doing fundraisers. I'm going to talk about the band trip here in just a minute. But guys, the fundraiser stuff right now, our priority is fair share. We've got to pay our way, okay? The band trip stuff, I'm going to take sure with a little bit later, is through an outside group. You pay them directly outside. Once you've met your fair share with the band and you start fundraising money, there is a way that we will send them a check for whatever profits you have towards the trip. Okay, but I'll talk about that here in just a few minutes. Mr. Schultz, number 12, we're getting closer.
Okay, I'm not going to do too long on this today. We discovered what happens if you don't prepare for the heat. So make sure that after rookie camp, we have a full month off for most of us. Make sure that at some point there you kick your kid outside at some point. Even if you want to unhook that TV and hook it up outside, they can play video games outside, right? Why not? Or go build a fort, or go build something. Get dirty, if you know, whatever. Okay. So condition. Thermoses, told them on, they were all really good today. I saw a bunch of thermoses outside. If they do get a thermos, they need to make sure to put your name and instrument on it. We do what's called gush and goes, where I say, all right, 30-second gush and go. And they don't have enough time to go to our water coolers out here, or even better up here. They don't have enough time to go into the band room and go back. So it's good to have that cooler right there next to them. They gush and they get right back out to the field, so we get right back to work, okay? We try and do a 10 minutes on, 2 minutes off rule at the beginning, and then we do a little bit more, we add a little bit more to the work side, still leave 2 minutes for drinking and whatnot, and everything. So, we prepare is really what it is. Wear sunscreen. They will need to wear shorts. It's going to be hot. It's July, okay? It's June right now, and it's 95 degrees. We're going to be doing this in July. I'm not saying that to scare you, Allison, but she didn't even hear me. Not doing this to scare you, but yes, it will be hot. Wear shorts, okay? Wear something that's going to keep you cool. As I told the students, though, the more skin that you have showing, which you don't need to show a lot, more skin you have showing, the more sunscreen you need to put on. We have had students get sun poisoning because they tested the sun, and the sun will always win in that. Okay? So in music folder, you can imagine, music folder with the little plastic sheets, you can imagine when we take the music outside, the wind blows it around. If you have those plastic sheets in there, obviously you'll have them right there. Again, you need to put your name and instrument on that as well. Okay?
Just make sure they dress cool. Hats, okay? Those little mule packs as well with water, they're perfectly fine. The ones with a little hose, we're fine with them wearing those on the field. That way if they need a drink, okay? Hydration. We'll talk to them about checking their pee-pee. Okay, to make sure, the more yellow, the more orange their urine is, the more dehydrated that they are. And we also will preach to them a lot about making sure that they hydrate in advance, because once you get dehydrated, it's hard to hydrate. So we'll talk a lot about that, about what to eat. Don't eat greasy foods, don't drink milk before you come to morning band camp or rookie camp. All those things are bad. Other stuff, we talked about the chaperone training just a few minutes ago. Make sure that you got the right dates there, please. July 18th, August 20th. That was my typo. That was me recycling from past years. And it's shish kebabbing stickies. You'll find out from our BPA that shish kebabs are our go-to. Shish kebabs came in the band boosters about 1981, 82, I think. Okay, and it's been something that our band parents are well known throughout the Southeast for. So there will be times that we ask for parents for shish kebab meat stickings. I call it on-the-job training for our students. Okay, they'll start to learn some job training stuff of dealing with raw meat and sticking it on skewers and all that kind of stuff. But I just want you to kind of be aware. If nobody here or anybody here never heard of the shish kebab. It's just pork on a stick, marinated pork on a stick. And it's not a Milton High School football game if you don't smell the smoke of shish kebab's grill. Okay, and I've said that for 25 years. Last thing I want to talk to you about real quick here. Look at the last page of your packet. We're just talking about band trip. Mr. Schultz, my packet disappeared. Okay. So, band trips. Now, for the past 24 out of the past 25 years, and even before I became band director here at Milton High School, we have always tried to take an annual band trip. When I came through the band, we tried to take an annual band trip. Every once in a while, missing a year. Oh, wow. I have a slide presentation behind me. Cool. But, guys, this year is what we call the big trip. Okay? We have a rotation of trips that we take. This year is the Washington, D.C., New York City trip. Okay? Our other rotation of trips is Walt Disney World, is a Carnival cruise, okay, which we took 2 years ago, took it back to Cozumel out of Mobile. And the other one is which we took this past school year, is Atlanta and the Smoky Mountains. Okay? This is the big one. This is the expensive one. The other trips, the other 3 years usually cost in the neighborhood of $450 to about $600, okay, per person to go. This year being a big trip, and I've always done the trips myself, I decided with the Washington DC, New York trip, again, after doing it for all these years, that we need an outside company to do it. It just consumed hundreds of hours that was taken away from the band if I tried to plan it, my wife tried to plan it, and different things. We're using a group called Route Travel Network. They do many of the band programs in the area, but most of the Okaloosa bands, I think Avalon traveled with them, some of the Escambia County bands have traveled with them as well. They're located in Orlando, Florida. They have put our trip package together, and they've done a good job. I will tell you that I was working on the trip package through March and a little bit into April, and I could not get it. The lowest I could get it at all, cutting some of the stuff out that they put in there, was $1,575 if I worked it. Okay? You'll see on here what all it includes, and I presented this last Thursday night. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about it, but you'll see what we're aiming for is the 40 to 49 range per bus. Buses hold 55. We want a little bit of wiggle room on the buses. And so what they have recommended, all students sign up for quad. Okay? That means 4 per room. Now, if we have adults that want to go and, you want to stay 2 or 3 per room, notice that there are other prices. Triples $1,730, doubles $2,025. You room yourself, it's almost $3,000 for the trip. Okay? Which is a lot of money. But they've asked that, sign up for quad. Listen, it's an outside company. It's not really going through Milton High School, which is one thing that the county, being the instrument coordinator for San Jose County, that the county has kind of pushed, is that our trips are with an outside corporation, outside company. Okay, and so if there's 2 couples that want to room together, we're going to be in the room from probably about 11 o'clock at night till about 7 the next morning. All we're going to do is shower and sleep. I promise you. If you've ever been on one of our band trips, it's not a let's hang out around the hotel. We get up in the morning and go just as hard to see just as much as we can until we get back. But a couple of things about this, you see the price. Now, to sign up for it, you need to go to their website. We passed out a packet the other night. It is also on our website right here. Okay? You will do all payments and all paperwork through Group Travel Network. Again, this is an optional trip. This is above and beyond the fair share, above and beyond the uniform, above and beyond the instrument maintenance fee. Okay? Usually, I think the last time I went to New York, we took about 120 people or 135 people, something like that, the last time that we went to New York City. But I want to bring that up to you tonight because it is that year. They do ask that the registration is it on yours, Mr. Schultz? June 21st, okay. I will tell you this, probably all the way through the summer they will accept registration, okay. They ask for that, they kind of give you a payment plan, but I got a feeling that if you register in July, it's still going to be open. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm pretty sure it probably will be, okay. So the main thing is, though, do notice there are payment plans to go along. You'll need to make sure that you pretty much stay caught up with that payment plan and that everything is paid by the end of it, which is on January 31st. Okay? You'll notice that the first 100 is non-refundable, so that's their policy. Okay? I will tell you this, of all the things that we do with the Milton High School Band, this trip to Washington, D.C. and New York City is probably one of the most educational of what we do. Okay, we do different things such as we'll try to do a White House tour again. We have to set that up on our own. We will bus up. I'll tell you, it's a long ways up there. Okay, we'll get there. We'll go to the hotel. We'll crash. And we'll eat pizza at the hotel that night. But we'll try to do a White House tour. We'll give them an opportunity to hit the Smithsonian museums. We will also we'll do a nighttime monument tour with a tour guide on each charter bus. Okay, which is awesome. Yes. While we're there as well, we'll go to the National Zoo one afternoon. And we'll go to Arlington Cemetery one morning, and they'll watch the changing of the guard. We will go out to Mount Vernon as we finish our time in D.C., which is usually on like the Sunday morning or something, and kind of have the place to ourselves, which is George Washington's home place, which is absolutely gorgeous. And then we'll make our way up to New York City. We will be staying in the North Virginia, which means Arlington, Alexandria, at the hotels. When we get to New York City, we'll be staying in Times Square. Okay? This will be the 3rd time we stayed in Times Square. I used to stay in New Jersey and try to bus in. It is so much more convenient when we're in New York City. When we're in New York City, the first night we get there, we'll go into Times Square, take a group photo, give them a little bit of free time to eat dinner. And then the next 3 days, we will break into small groups with a couple of adults in each group, maybe 3 or 4 adults in each group, and a handful of students. We'll kind of try to let them handpick each other. And we'll use the hop-on, hop-off double-decker buses. The sightsee. We'll do the downtown loop, we'll do the uptown loop, we'll do the Brooklyn loop, and we'll give them kind of directions. While we're there, we will visit the 9/11 Memorial, okay? We'll visit the Freedom Tower. We will visit the 9/11 Museum. In that process, we do some assignments beforehand, where I realized this time, these students weren't even born when 9/11 took place. Okay, the last time had just been born. And so we'll ask them to research a victim from 9/11 and do a little one-page research paper. And as we get to 9/11 Memorial, we'll have little American flags that the American Legion here donates with a tag on it, and we'll place that. They'll find that name and place it in there. Very moving, very moving. While we're also there in New York City, we will do a nighttime ferry tour. We'll get to the Statue of Liberty. We'll go out to the Statue of Liberty and in the harbor at night. And one of the coolest things, we always do a Broadway musical, but one of the things that Group Travel has added is we will do a cast party dinner for the Broadway musical, which means whatever musical that we go to, those cast members will join us for dinner that night. And they will mingle with our folks and take pictures with them and answer questions about their life on Broadway and so forth, okay? We'll use the hop-on, hop-offs. We will also use the subways. And trust me, this is about the sixth time we're taking the group to New York. We'll have a strategy for how we get around. It'll be very, very eye-opening and a great training experience for the parents that go. The only thing I do ask, okay, if parents and families want to go, that's fine. If a sibling of one of our members wants to go, the parents need to go, or a parent needs to go. I'm not going to take any student that is not a part of our program unless their parent goes and is responsible for them. The other thing that I ask, if parents go, parents, I don't want you to just sign up to go on the trip and you haven't spent any time around our kids. I need you to chaperone at least once and be involved in one other activity with our band parents. You need to be a part of our program. I learned a few years ago in the past, I had some parents sign up to go who I've never met. They went off and they're like, you want me to do something? And it's like, yeah, it's a band trip, you're chaperoning. And so we don't want to make that mistake. Again, this trip is about kids. And we want just as many, and I'll be honest with you, our adult to student ratio is usually 2 students to 1 adult. Almost all our band trips, which is awesome. A lot of families take advantage because it's a group tour and everything is pretty much inclusive. Most every day has at least 2 meals included. A hot breakfast buffet and most of the time dinner at night. Okay, so the only thing they'll need to purchase is lunch and souvenirs. And while they're traveling around New York, if there's certain things they want to go into to see, but I will tell you this, that does include 7 New York City attractions. They call it the City Pass. So if they want to go backstage at the Metropolitan Opera or at, what's got the dance line? What's that? Rockefeller, thank you. Or Rockefeller Center. Those backstage tours is included in that City Pass. And they'll have 7 of those. So most of their attractions are included in this as well. Okay?
How does that go again? That Rockefeller thing?
It's kick, step, kick, step. You don't kick with both legs. I found that out as a younger. Okay? At the same time, you do that, it's just fantastic.
Not that my daughter would want to do this, but are the children allowed to room with the adults to make?
For this trip, I'm fine with that, absolutely. For this trip. And again, look guys, we're going with an outside company, so it's a little bit different on this. So, okay? Used to in the past, like we go to Smoky Mountains, kids are in the room, separate from parents. But if you and another parent, your 2 daughters or whatever, want to room together, I'm perfectly fine with that. Yes?
If the adults are going to do more than just a double to a room, do we need to tell you that ahead of time, I'm assuming?
Just sign up on here. Eventually they're going to get to the rooming lists
Okay.
that they'll send to us and what have, and we've got a backdoor entry that they're giving us to get onto the site.
Okay.
And so when we start the rooming list, we'll send the information out and you guys will let us know. Okay? Other questions about the trip? Again, guys, this is optional. Not everybody's going to want to go, not everybody's going to be able to afford to go, and we get that. But we want to continue to provide these opportunities. So, any questions about the trip? Anything else I may have left off? Ms. Marcus, I'm looking at you. Yes. It depends on how old. Talk to me one-on-one and we'll see. But I'd really rather have a parent. I don't want to be responsible for anybody but the kids that we date. So that's my biggest thing. Usually they have to be out of high school for 4 years, like to come back and chaperone. So we kind of be, if they're only 20, one of y'all would need to go as well. Okay? Other questions about anything tonight? Guys, it's been an hour and a half, and I really appreciate your patience, appreciate your attention. If you have any questions between now and our small group meetings, did that clipboard make its way through? It's on my desk. Please let us know. Email is the best way, or call us. Thank you.